Okay, go.
Hi Sandy, hi Rosie. Hi guys. Sorry if I'm a little jittery, I'm just going to make a quick statement really fast. I didn't get no sleep at all last night. It was a very rough night for me. And my heart has just been jittery and I've been shaking all day. I get that way when I don't get no sleep, but I've already got a bad heart anyway, so. Alright, let's get started with the Bible reading. We left off yesterday. We started the New Testament. Something wrong, sure? Is it recording okay?
It's recording.
Okay, we started the New Testament again yesterday in the new year. First day of the new year. We started with Matthew, of course, the first book of the New Testament. And we talked about how Jesus was born. And in today's reading, we're going to talk about how Joseph has to take Mary and Jesus and escape to Egypt, and then to another place as well. And you'll hear why in today's reading. Okay, let's begin. And where we left off yesterday, with Matthew chapter 2, verse 13, reading through verse 3, verse 6. The escape to Egypt. Remember, they are in Bethlehem right now. That's where Jesus was born, in Bethlehem, in a manger. Because there was no room for Mary in the inn. And just a little tidbit of information. The person that run the inn, her name was Abigail. And that's my niece's name. And her dad's dad, her grandpa on her dad's side, said that Abigail wasn't in the Bible, but of course it is. She was the one that run the inn in Bethlehem that told Mary there was no room for them in the inn, but gave them a place to stay in the stable when she could have just turned them away altogether. So she gave them a place. So Mary was able to have Jesus, even though it was outside in the stable. You know, it wasn't like, I guess, on the road in front of everybody or whatever. You know, so God bless Abigail for that. Alright. Escape to Egypt. When they had gone, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream. "Get up," he said. "Take the child and his mother and escape to Egypt. Stay there until I tell you. For Herod," remember, which was the king that sent the 3 wise men to find Jesus, and to bring info back so he know where Jesus is, so he can worship him too. But the angel told them not to go back to Herod because Herod wanted to do something bad. Herod was lying. So the Magi didn't go back. So, stay there until I tell you, for Herod is going to search for the child to kill him. Herod wanted to kill Jesus, okay? So, and Herod was the king of Israel then. So he got up, took the child and his mother during the night, and left for Egypt, where he stayed until the death of Herod. And was so fulfilled what the Lord had said through the prophet, "Out of Egypt I called my son." When Herod realized that he had been outwitted by the Magi, he was furious. Now listen to what he did. "And he gave orders to kill all the boys in Bethlehem," where Jesus was born, where he thought Jesus still was, "in its vicinities, who were 2 years old and under." All the boys that were 2 years old and under, he had them killed. Can you imagine the anguish of the mothers the cries and screams of the mothers and the children being slain by the sword. Some of their little heads being cut off and stabbed in the heart, and trying to save your baby, and they rip from your arms and killed right in front of you. Especially the older ones, the 1 and 2 year olds, especially the 2-year-olds that know, somebody's hurting me. Mommy, please stop. Don't let them hurt me, If you think about it that way, it really brings it home. So let's go back. And he gave orders to kill all the boys in Bethlehem and its vicinity, who were 2 years old and under, in accordance with the time he had learned from the Magi. Then what he said through the prophet Jeremiah was fulfilled. A voice is heard in Ramah, weeping and great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children and refusing to be comforted, because they are no more. Sadly, you'll see that happen again when we get a little bit further into the Bible, when we get into the next, no, sorry, that was in the Old Testament. You would have seen that happen in Moses' time. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up because we're all at the beginning here. The Pharaoh ordered the boys killed, the babies killed, when Moses was a baby, because the Israelites, the Hebrews, were populating so much. They were outnumbering the Egyptians, and they feared that they were going to retaliate and, try to take over and not be slaves anymore. So they had killed the babies, and that's how Moses was saved, though, because Moses' mom took him, put him in a basket, that was waterproof. I forget what kind of basket it was. It was a waterproof basket. Put him in there and sent him down the river Nile, which is a river in Egypt. And where else did he land? Where did God put him? Right into Pharaoh's own house. One says it was Pharaoh's niece, another says it was Pharaoh's daughter, another one said it was Pharaoh's wife. But regardless, Moses was raised as a son of the Pharaoh, and he was raised as a prince. But as you know later, I'm sure, if you guys know about the book of Exodus, where it talks about Moses, mostly, he finds out who he really is and saves his people, the Israelites. And a little tidbit, his sister, which was much older than Moses, followed the basket to see where it had landed, and she went back and told her mom. And the woman that found the baby, Moses, the Egyptian woman, needed a Hebrew woman to nurse the baby. And who do you think nursed the baby? Moses' own mother got to come and nurse the baby, which of course they didn't know that was her child, but she got to nurse her own son. See how God works? He had a greater purpose for Moses. Alright, I'm sorry I'm rattling on so much. I just get so into this. Okay, they can be comforted no more from the children being killed. Now, the return to Nazareth. I want you guys to pay very close attention to this part here at the end here. After Herod died, an angel of the Lord appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt and said, "Get up, take the child and his mother, and go to the land of Israel, for those who were trying to take the child's life are dead." So he got up, took the child and his mother, and went to the land of Israel. But when he heard that Archelaus was reigning in Judah in place of his father Herod, who you know was king, he was afraid to go there, Joseph was. Having been warned in a dream, he withdrew to a district of Galilee. And he went and lived in a town in Galilee called Nazareth. Now remember that, and listen to this. So was fulfilled what was said through the prophets, that Jesus would be called a Nazarene. Because, see, he was told to go through Galilee and stay in a town, and they stayed in Nazareth. And so, of course, Jesus would be considered a Nazarene as being a member of that town. And we're ending the book of Matthew today, our reading with it, with talking about Jesus' cousin, which was the son, his name was John. He was the son of Elizabeth, Mary's older sister. And John's got a story all of his own, as well as his parents, but we won't get into that. Pushing it as we are, I'm sure, of the time. So John the Baptist prepares the way, and he's preparing the way for Jesus, but they don't know it's Jesus yet. They just think they're preparing the way for the Messiah that's coming. They don't yet know that it's Jesus the Messiah. In those days, John the Baptist came preaching in the wilderness of Judea and saying, "Repent, for the kingdom of heaven has come near." This is he who was spoken of through the prophet Isaiah, when they said of John, "A voice of one calling in the wilderness, prepare the way for the Lord, make straight paths for him." And listen how John lived. John's clothes were made of camel's hair, and he had a leather belt around his waist. His food, remember he lived in the wilderness, didn't have a house. His food was locusts and wild honey. People went out to him from Jerusalem and all of Judea and the whole region of the Jordan. Confessing their sins, they were baptized by him in the Jordan River. And you'll later see that significance pretty close here in our Bible readings coming up, if not tomorrow. I want to tell you guys something, but I don't know how long the video's played already, so. But it's about the Jordan River, so I just got to say it. I'll try to make it fast. You know Brian Harden, I talked to you guys about yesterday, who does the daily audio Bible readings that I highly recommended. He does the Old Testament as well as the New. He reads exactly what I'm reading, except he reads the Old Testament up above it first. And he gets through the whole Bible in here. And you can listen to it and follow along at the same time. And he plays the most calming music in the backgrounds. And he's so soft-spoken and he explains it so much better than I do. But anyway, he travels to Israel every year and takes people. And you got to pay to go. And he also videotapes it for the ones like us that can't go. And he puts videos on explaining where the different places are and what happened there. Love his videos. He's got a Facebook page he puts them on. Or you can probably also see them on the dailyaudiobible.com website. But anyway, he baptizes people when he's there in Israel in the Jordan River. I would have loved, and he shows that too, baptizing people there. Brian's a pastor, by the way. I would have loved if I could ask for anything for myself, for myself, for my soul, if I could pick one thing on this earth for myself, it would be to be baptized in the Jordan River. And you'll see why later on in the Bible reading, why it has such a strong significance to me, and why I really wished I could have, but I never even thought it was possible to get baptized there. I mean, I don't know why I thought that, but I think it's so wonderful that Brian goes there and does that. I mean, I would have loved that, and so many people get to go and get that done. They are so, so lucky. So lucky. And God bless Brian for all that he does. Him and his wife Jill. Good people. Alright guys, I am so sorry. I just had to put that in there. So you guys can check out Brian and check out his videos. Because trust me, they are very, very good. And of course, I don't think they went to Israel yet this year. This year's just started. Our psalm for today is Psalm 2. Why do the nations conspire and the peoples plot in vain? The kings of the earth rise up, and the rulers band together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their chains and throw off their shackles. The one enthroned in heaven laughs. The Lord scoffs at them. He rebukes them in his anger and terrifies them in his wrath, saying, I have installed my king on Zion, my holy mountain. I will proclaim the Lord's decree. He said to me, you are my son. Today I have become your father. Ask me, and I will make the nations your inheritance, the ends of the earth your possession. You will break them with the rod of iron. You will dash them to pieces like pottery. Therefore, you kings, be wise. Be warned, you rulers of the earth. Serve the Lord with fear, and celebrate his rule with trembling. Kiss his son, for he will be angry if you don't. And your way will lead to your destruction. For his wrath can flare up in a moment. Blessed are all those who take refuge in him and the Lord. Alright guys, did you see the lights flicker? Too. That was my imagination. Not getting no sleep. They're always flickering here. I don't know why. So there's something going on with this wiring. Just blowed another light bulb or two over here the other day. And you know we just changed those. Anyway, we're ending today's Bible reading with Proverbs chapter 1, verses 7 through verse 9. And we'll read verse 7 first. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. So very true. How many times have you just wanted to jump into doing something without knowing what to do or without reading the instructions for it, and then found out that you were really lost and don't know what to do, or you royally mess it up? I think we've all been there. Now, verses 8 and 9 are the prologue exhortations to embrace wisdom, warning against the invitation of sinful men. This goes into the category of honoring your mother and father in the 10 Commandments, I believe. Listen, my son, to your father's instruction, and do not forsake your mother's teaching. They are a garland to grace your head, and a chain to adorn your neck. A lot of us can probably say our parents have given us good advice at one time or another. I know not every child is that lucky to have, parents that some don't have parents, in their lives at all. And some have parents that don't want them in their lives at all. But you know what I'm talking about. The ones who really love their children and are there for their children and want to instruct them in ways to help their life and, make their life good for God. Alright guys, well that was today's Bible reading. I hope it touched your guys' hearts. I hope you guys come back for some more Bible readings, or better yet, go watch Brian's. How late are we, sure?
20.
20 minutes. Oh guys, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't blame you if you don't finish watching, if you don't watch all this, but for the ones of you who do finish watching it, I love you guys. Let's bring those souls to Jesus, and God willing, I'll see you guys all again tomorrow with another Bible reading, and hopefully it'll be much shorter. Bye guys. God bless.